New York City, a name that echoes across the world, carried on screens, in stories, and in the imaginations of millions. Yet nothing truly prepares you for the moment you arrive. The moment the skyline rises ahead like a jagged steel horizon, shimmering above the rivers that frame the boroughs. This is a city built upward, outward, and endlessly forward. A place where movement isn't just constant, it's expected. New York is a mosaic of neighborhoods, each with its own identity, its own heartbeat. From the brownstone-lined streets of Brooklyn, to the energetic pulse of Harlem, to the iconic chaos of Times Square, the city shifts block by block. Cultures collide and intertwine, languages ripple through the air, cuisines sizzle beside each other, and traditions coexist in a way that feels both chaotic and seamless. That's the unique alchemy of New York. Individuality woven into a collective identity. Life here moves fast, but it isn't rushed. It's intentional. People walk with purpose. There's a sense that anything can happen at any moment, and often it does. A performer turns a subway platform into a stage. A corner storefront sells food from a country halfway around the world. A quiet park bench becomes a refuge from the noise. Every street holds another story. Every building contains thousands of lives unfolding simultaneously. Central Park is the green heart of New York City, a vast, carefully designed escape where nature and urban life meet in perfect balance. Spanning more than 840 acres, it offers winding paths shaded by towering trees, tranquil lakes reflecting the skyline, and open meadows where people gather to relax, exercise, or simply breathe away the city's rush. From the energy of the Great Lawn to the quiet beauty of the Ramble, the park feels like its own small world, constantly alive with runners, musicians, families, and travelers. It's a place where the city slows down, if only for a moment, and reminds you that even in the busiest metropolis, there's room to wander. New York City is more than a destination. It's a crossroad of dreams, an engine of creativity, a world within a world. People come here to find something. Opportunity, reinvention, inspiration, or sometimes just the experience of being part of something bigger than themselves. Whether you're here to explore its landmarks, feel its pace, or simply watch life whirl around you, one thing is certain. New York City leaves an impression that stays with you long after you've left its skyline behind. Welcome to New York City, the city that never sleeps. Hello everybody and welcome to episode number 7 of Around the Globe 2026. Today we're sitting at Miami International Airport in the Boeing FlightFactor 777-V2. We're going to be American Airlines 4523 pushing back here shortly once we get our catering, boarding of passengers and cargo all on board. We have 266 passengers with us today and we're going to be taking with us 46,000 pounds of fuel. This is episode number 7, as I said, so if you are seeing this for the first time, welcome. We do have 6 episodes before this where we have already taken a trip around the globe in the southern hemisphere, and now we are going to be using this flight here to get us ourselves further north in the northern hemisphere, where we're going to do one more trip around the globe in the FlightFactor Boeing 777. So with that being said, friends, welcome. Today we're going to be having a much shorter flight on our plate today. No 15-hour flight, no 8-hour flight, just a short 2-hour and 14-minute airtime scheduled for today. Just a little over 1,000 miles in route distance. So far, this has been quite the journey. We've been from Los Angeles over to Sydney, Sydney to Perth, Perth to Cape Town, South Africa, and we also took a flight from Cape Town, South Africa, over to Sao Paulo, Brazil, Sao Paulo now into Miami, and here we are. We're about ready to finish the first half of Around the Globe 2026. So thank you all for coming along on this journey so far, and we're going to go ahead and get started on the last flight of the first half of this epic 2-time pass around the globe. So Southern Hemisphere is complete. Northern Hemisphere, we are now getting started. So let's jump into the cockpit and let's get things set up, shall we? All right, here we are sitting in the beautiful FlightFactor Boeing 777 cockpit. We're going to go down here to the FMC. We're going to go ahead and get started with putting in our reference airport of Miami, so KMIA. And we're going to grab that position and throw that in there. Perfect. And then we're going to go KMIA, throw it up here in Origin Airport. And our destination today is going to be JFK, so KJFK. Throw that in there. Wonderful. All right, so we're going to be American Airlines 4523, as we are with every flight during this series. So we're going to put that in there. Beautiful. And today we are going to be departing out of runway 08 right out of Miami. Before the stream started here, I went and got our clearance from ATC. We're going to go over here to the Perfinit page. Looking over here to my left, we're going to be entering a zero fuel weight of 373.9. Throw that in there. Reserve fuel, 2,000 pounds, 2.0. Get that in there. Very good. And we're going to be at a cruise altitude of 41,000 feet. So because we are a much lighter aircraft, we're going to be going up all the way to 41,000 feet. Cost index today is going to be scheduled for 44. We can always adjust that if need be, but that looks good for our short little flight today. All right, our cell temp is going to be plus 55 degrees. So we'll throw that in there. And we'll see what it gives us. It's going to just give us takeoff for now. All right, very good. We may have to adjust that once we get our runway selected here in the departures. But flaps will be 5 degrees for now, according to SimBrief. And we're going to select 08 right for our runway. We're going to be on the Fulls 3 departure with the Aria transition. All right, very good. We'll hit route. We'll activate that and execute. Very good, friends. All right, let's go over to the route page here. Let's start entering in some waypoints. So from the Aria transition, we're going to be going over to Pelkin. So we're going to type that in, throw that in there. Very good. From Pelkin, we are going to be jumping on the airway of Y309. Very good. Throw that in there. And then we're going to be jumping on the waypoint Florida. We'll call it Florida. Good enough for me, right? And then we're going to be on to the waypoint of Segi. Throw that in there. And then we're going to be on the Chiaz waypoint. Very good. We'll hit next page. And then we're going to be back on an airway here of Q161. All right, very good. We're going to throw that in. And then we're going to be exiting that airway at Calda. Very good. And then back onto a waypoint of Q108. And we'll throw that in there. All right, so now what we should do, let's execute that. Let's go over to arrivals page and let's get our arrival set up here. So today, right now, real world weather, they are going to be landing on runway 31 left and 31 right. We have been assigned 31 right, so we'll go with that. We're going to be on the Cameron 5 departure, so we'll go ahead and select that. And then let's just make sure here. Let's go to legs and let's just cycle through here, take a look. And it looks like they did put Sia in there. Oh, yep, they did. Okay. So actually I can just delete that. Don't need that at all. We'll just pull that up there. Very good. And then let's go to our plan here and let's cycle through things here, make sure everything looks as planned. All right, so we got a little bit of a discrepancy there. Let's take care of that. Very good. And let's cycle through here. Let's go a little bit closer in just to take a look at that final turn into the runway. Very good. So we may need to vector out a little further than what that is. If you've been following this series, you've kind of seen how this plane has kind of had a little bit of trouble on descent with the VNAV. Not sure if it's a me problem or if it's the plane itself. But we'll definitely stay close to that as we come in. We may start our top of descent earlier than what is being asked for, but we'll stay close to it. All right, over here to the EFB, let's start getting some numbers entered in here. So today we are going to be taking with us 46,426 pounds of fuel. Very good. You can see that barely loads any of our fuel tanks here for this short flight in this 777. Passengers today, we're going to be looking at 266 total passengers. So let's just kind of enter in some units here and see how we all will calculate this. Let's see, 8 crew members will be fine. Let's just start typing in some numbers here and see how close we get to 266, and we'll adjust accordingly. 259. Okay, so let's just let's take care of that with the economy number here. Let's just back that up. And we're going to go ahead and type in 213. Perfect. 266. All right, we're very good there. And let's go back. Let's go to CG summary. Let's take a look at our CG. Actually, let's go to cargo, and let's put our cargo in first before we do that CG. Cargo is going to be 14,630 pounds of cargo weight today. So we'll go ahead and get that entered in. Very good. And then let's go back, and now we can go to our CG summary. We'll go ahead and optimize the CG, and that gives us a CG of 29.4. Very good. Let's go over here to airplane, loading services, and we're going to go ahead and get the passengers, catering, cargo, and fuel all on board here for today's flight. Very good, friends. All right. So everything is loaded up right now. We're being loaded up right now, and once we have everything on board here, passengers, cargo, fuel, all of that, we will be ready for pushback from the gate. So let's go ahead and get our baro set there to 30.11. Very good. And let's jump outside here, and we'll start to see the crews start to do their work out here with everything that we just entered in and asked them for. And we should also, now that I'm thinking about it here, we need to get our APU started. So let's go back inside and let's get the APU started up. All right, up top here, we got a couple things to do here. Let's go APU gen on, APU over to start. Very good. We'll let that go ahead and spool up, and we'll wait for that to be done spooling up before we continue on with our next flight phase here, or setup phase, I should say. All right, very good. All right, back inside the cockpit. Let's go back up top here. Let's go APU bleed on. And with that, we are fully on APU power. And let's see what the call is here.
There should be enough fuel for you now. It's done.
All right, very good. So fuel is all on board. Let's go RTO on the auto brakes. And let's dial in our initial altitude here of 41,000 feet. Again, I am using the WinWing Autopilot Boeing panel to dial this in. So it is now working with this aircraft. So if you own that and you have yet to discover that, make sure you update your SimApp Pro, and that will allow you to use your panel that you have from WinWing for this plane. So very nice to have. All right, so back up top here, let's get our external power all disconnected. And let's see here. Let's go ahead and enter in our performance numbers here for our takeoff. So Miami, we're going to be at that 08 right departure today. So we're going to go ahead and select that. Conditions are going to be dry. Winds, actually no winds this morning here out of Miami. Also looking at landing in JFK today, they have very light winds as well. So Always great to see that. Outside air temperature is 22 degrees Celsius with a QNH of 30.11. Thrust, we're going to go with takeoff. Actually, I'm going to double check that here. Let's just see. Okay, so now that we've selected our departure runway, we're going to select takeoff here. We can always go in and adjust that. Flaps 5 for departure. Anti-ice will be off. Our takeoff weight today is going to be, estimated takeoff weight is going to be 419006. So we'll get that entered in, and then our CG, let's see, our CG was, we have to go back and take a look just to verify, but I thought, pretty sure it was, let's see, where's my CG here? CG is going to be 29.4, so we'll just make sure that that gets entered in here, and that'll give us our takeoff trim. And let's get our thrust also set back in here as well. Our cell tempo is going to be plus 55, so let's get that re-entered in. I think it went away because we selected our runway after we did this initially, so may have done that a little bit backwards, but we got it all corrected now. So alright, perfect, things are looking good now. Takeoff thrust is set, flaps to 5, trim to 29%. We'll go ahead and accept those V speeds, and then we can go back over here to the EFB and go to menu, performance, and now we can finish entering in our final information here of 29.4 in the CG, and calculate that. Very good. And we are going to be all set. We'll sync our barrows, and we're looking ready for pushback. All right, let's go down here. Let's see what the purser has for us.
Sir, we are done with the boarding process.
Thank you.
All right, perfect. So boarding is complete. We're going to go over here to the FB, remove all ground equipment.
And disconnect all ground equipment.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. And then we're going to go request close all hatches.
Miami Ground Delta 180 requesting IFR clearance to Charleston.
Cleared, sir.
Requesting IFR clearance to Charleston.
All right, and then back down here one more time, and we're going to go get in contact with the purser again, and we'll ask for the doors to be armed.
American 2518, Miami Ground,
close off.
start approved, tail east.
Sure thing.
And now doors armed. Oh, we'll have to go back.
Listening.
And doors armed.
Mode, please.
Aye, sir.
All right, so with that, we can go ahead and get our hydraulics on. We can start pressurizing the cabin. Now all the doors and hatches are closed. And we can call for pushback in just a moment. Let's turn our recycle or recirc fans on. And I'm not liking what it's showing up here. We may have to just reset this. Let's go ahead and do that. Back to on, see if it goes away. Yep, there we go. And let's, there we go. Perfect. Okay. Very good. We're good there. And let's go up top here. Let's detach jetway. And there's the jetway going away from the airplane. Wonderful. And let's go up to better pushback and ask for pushback. All right, beautiful. All right, here we are, friends. We're about ready to be pushed out of the gate. Miami Ground, American 4523, ready for push and start.
American 4523, heavy, Miami Ground, push and start approved, tail east.
All right, perfect. So push and start has been approved. And we will be pushing back momentarily.
Hello everyone.
Much
Thank you for
appreciated.
your attention. It's time to get you ready for takeoff. We know you
All right,
have
engine number
lots of
2 over to
choices,
start.
So thanks for choosing American. We're happy to be your airline. Now if you'll just follow along with me, we'll be on our way. Welcome aboard. Before we depart,
And
here are
we'll
some
go ahead and
important
introduce
safety
the fuel.
instructions. First things first, let's buckle those belts.
Give you guys a behind the
Insert
wing view
metal
here
end
when
into
this
the buckle
engine's
and
spooling
pull
up.
the strap
Sounds
to
are
tight.
absolutely
To
phenomenal on this
open,
plane.
simply lift on the top of the
Miami
buckle.
Ground, good afternoon. This is Airbus
And
905,
remember,
Papa Victor
seatbelts should
Heavy
be
with
fastened
information.
wherever you're
Mike,
seated,
request
just in case of
permission for engine
unexpected
start.
turbulence. To get us on our
Now the
way,
cabin
make sure
announcements,
your
I don't know if I've
seatbelt,
ever talked
all
about the
electronic
cabin
devices
announcements
are
that I
put
play
away
during
before you
these
begin.
flights, but this is actually a program made by a teenager where it's a free download. You can run it externally from the simulator, so whether you do Microsoft, P3D, X-Plane, doesn't matter what you use, right? It's running external from your sim, but it's a really cool program where they have many all around the world airline safety announcements. So that's what you're hearing right now. Let's see, I'm gonna get the name of it here. It's called Cabin Sim. So really kind of a neat program to have. So no matter what livery you're flying, you should be able to find a safety announcement within that app for you. So I've had it for maybe 6 months to a year now. There hasn't been any updates, but honestly, right out of the box, it's fantastic. I have never really had the need to get any updates for it where I've wanted more airlines. Pretty much every airline that I've wanted is there. So Cabin Sim is the name of it, so look it up. It's a free download and you can implement it into your simulator.
This aircraft is designed with escape lighting on or near the floor. A sign will indicate you have reached your exit.
Now we'll get our flaps set to 5 degrees.
In the event of an evacuation, escape path lighting will appear. Follow the lights until you've reached your exit. Leave all carry-ons behind. Just head quickly and safely to the nearest exit, and don't forget, it may be behind you. Now, if the airplane loses pressure, oxygen masks will drop automatically. While remaining
And we'll do our
seated with your
speed
seatbelt
brake
fastened,
test.
Hold down on the mask to extend
Looks
the
good.
tubing. The yellow cup goes over your nose and mouth like so, then slip the band over your head to secure the mask to your face. The band adjusts automatically. Normal breathing will start the flow of oxygen. And remember to always put your own mask on first.
All right,
before
back up here in the
helping others.
cockpit. Looks like our tug has
FlightFactor
driven away,
located
so we
either
are
under
all
or
set
next to
there.
your seat.
Flaps are set to 5 degrees. We'll go
Pull the
LNAV,
tab or
VNAV.
cabin
We'll go back
handle
up
to
top.
break the seal. For
And
help
we will make
locating
sure
them,
that everything
see your
is
safety
good
card.
here for
Remove the
taxi
vest from
out.
the package like this.
Go APU bleed off. APU can come off.
Put the vest over your head.
Very good,
Wrap the
friends.
strap
Here we
around your
go.
waist, attach
All
the
right,
buckle,
we are getting
and
ready
pull
to
tight.
taxi. We'll go ahead and
Once
call for
outside,
taxi
pull the
clearance.
tab to inflate your vest or blow into the red tube on the side.
And
In the
make
water,
sure our
a
trim
light
is
on your
set.
vest will illuminate.
Okay,
And
yeah, we're
please,
probably,
only
yeah,
inflate
we're
your
good.
vest
Trim was
outside
already
the
set to
airplane.
4, so we're just fine there.
Your seat cushion may
We'll
be
just put
used
that
as a
back on the
flotation
legs
device.
page,
Just remove the lower
and now we
cushion
are ready to
and
call
put
for
your
taxi
arms through
clearance.
The straps found on the opposite side. The crew will now be coming
Miami Ground,
around
American
to the final
4523,
traffic
ready to taxi to
After
runway
takeoff, we'll
08
ask for more
right.
information. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. As always, we're here to make your flight great. What's great is what we're going for.
American 4523 Heavy, runway 8 right, taxi via Papa Mike 1.
Taxi via Papa Mike 1 for American 4523 Heavy. Alright, very good. We have our taxi clearance. We can go ahead and release this parking brake. Very good. And ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to taxi on out. Go ahead and get our chrono started. So this is going to be the shortest flight of the entire series, just a little over 2 hours in airtime. 2 hours and 14 minutes is what we're scheduled for. So this is going to be finishing part 1 of the Around the Globe 2026, where part 2 is going to be the Northern Hemisphere. Now we are in the Northern Hemisphere right now, but we're going to be departing from New York City for our next long haul. From New York City JFK over to London Heathrow, which will be the next video of episode number 8 in this series. So look forward to that here in the coming weeks. We're going to just take a few week break here between episode 7 and episode 8. So that way, if anybody is wanting to get caught up on the series or just anyway check out what we've done so far. You'll have a little bit of time to do so before episode 8 is posted in just a couple weeks. So again, we are going to be doing the entire Around the Globe 2026 in the FlightFactor Boeing 777 or the American Airlines 777. I know there's a lot of destinations on this trip where American in real life does not actually fly, but just to kind of keep things simplified and keep things easy, just for my sake, we're going to just pretend we got ourselves a nice little 777 charter across the globe. So and then what I'm thinking is that in a couple years when FlightFactor releases their 787, and let's face it, it's probably going to be a couple years the way that FlightFactor operates here, but let's hope maybe it's next year in 2026, but it's probably looking more like maybe late 2026, 2027 that we'll actually have it in our hands as consumers. It'd be fun to do the Around the Globe possibly 2028 in the FlightFactor 787. So it's been a fun series, so this definitely won't be the only installment. We still have half of it still to go and lots of cool destinations to check out. So stay tuned, and thank you all for tuning in.
Miami ground. Radio check. Miami ground. That time.
Alright, we've progressed on our taxi here a little bit over to 08 right, and in just a moment we'll be holding short and we'll ask for takeoff clearance.
Miami ground. American 605 gate Delta 4 for pushback engine trip.
Approaching 8 right.
American 605, pushback approved.
Approaching runway. Approaching 8 right.
Miami Tower, American 4523 Heavy, holding short runway 08 right, ready for departure.
American 4523 Heavy, Miami Tower, runway 8
At your
right, winds
service.
calm. Fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
By all means.
Clear for takeoff for American 4523 Heavy. Alright, we are ready to rock and roll, and we will get ourselves out of Miami on our way to New York City. Auto throttle does not want to arm. That's interesting. I don't know what that's all about. I did do an update on the plane this morning, so hopefully that will just kind of work itself out as we go, but we'll just stay close to that. Not too concerned about it. Alright, so I'm going to get my comms over to the first officer, so that way when we take off here we can just focus on flying the plane. We'll turn our landing lights on as we make our way onto the runway. And we'll make this this turn here.
On runway 8 right.
American 4682, contact departure on 118.1.
Over departure on 118.1, American 4682.
Alright.
Kodiak 4 Tango Foxtrot, contact departure.
Contact and departure, Kodiak 4 Tango Foxtrot.
Did you want something?
Captain, just wanted to let you know that we are ready and the briefing has been completed.
Perfect. The way that these voices talk in this plane just it makes me laugh. It's so robotic. It's interesting how they chose that for the style. But anyway, all right, friends, here we go. Throttles to 40%. Slight forward down pressure on the yoke. Let's get it. Takeoff power set. Airspeed's alive. And we are going to be blasting off in no time with this light aircraft that we have today. And we got B1 already, so rotate.
American 8003, read back correct.
And she's going to be climbing here, friends. No problem whatsoever getting this bird off the ground. Alright, positive rate, gear up. just look at that speed. That speed is just going crazy on us. We're going to keep that nose pitched down a little bit here. Just kind of keep an eye on that. Local flaps clean since our speed is already up in 230s. You can see the skyline of Miami and Miami Beach out in front of us. Pretty dang cool.
Good morning.
We'll just keep flying our path here.
American 4523 Heavy, Miami departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain 13,000, turn right heading 125, vectors to Jamba, then as filed.
Climb and maintain 13,000. Right heading 125. Vectors to Jamba. Then as 5. American 4523 Heavy.
Alright, so I got my throttles kind of pulled back here just a little bit, just because we're going to be blasting through this 250 here. Technically, we are going a little faster than what is legally allowed. Usually cannot go over 250 under 10,000 feet. So we're just going to kind of lay off of our throttle here a little bit. Let those speeds come back down as we continue our climb. Keep that nose pitched up. Or climbing at 5,000 feet per minute right now. This thing is an absolute beast right now with this lighter weight. Alright, so we'll get autopilot set. I try and get auto throttle armed. It's not really doing what I wanted to do. Oh, yep, so there's our warning. Okay, so we'll get autopilot back on. I'm gonna try it one more time here, and it just does not want to take. You know, I almost wonder if it's because my throttle... Yep, I bet it's because my throttle is not all the way forward right now. So, in the 777, the throttle needs to be all the way forward before you can engage... before you can engage auto throttle. Otherwise, it thinks that you're still manually controlling it. So, I'm thinking that's what's going on here. So, we'll just kind of keep an eye on that as we continue to climb out here. Should be just fine. Just keep following our flight director here. Just passing over 9,000 feet. Let's see if it stays on there. Nope. Interesting. Okay. Well, now it's staying on. So what I just did is I just selected it on my wind wing autopilot panel and it stayed on. But I really think it was mostly because my throttles were not at full thrust. So I don't think that was a glitch by the plane. I think that was more me just not engaging the throttle correctly at the time of engaging the auto throttle in the autopilot. So, all right, we are good now, friends. We're doing our climb out, just passing over 11,000 feet, and we are on our way to New York. Alright, welcome back everybody. We are currently on our descent. We're just going to be coming up on 11,000 feet as we are making our way into the New York City airspace. You can see we're currently out over the ocean. It's been a smooth ride here so far. We did have some crazy winds though coming up the coast. We had a crosswind from our left to right at about 150 miles per hour. So a lot of those winds have died down. That was mostly at cruise altitude. So we were kind of doing this crab all the way up the coast. It was kind of funny to just kind of watch. But right at descent at 41,000 feet, we picked up a lot of tailwind from that main speed, and we were coming down at about 550 miles per hour. So we were really booking our way down here. And really what has caused that to happen is us to be a little bit ahead on our profile right now. So we may have to do a little bit more of a vector out to kind of bleed off some of this altitude. I even did start the descent early. We started about 25 miles early, just because I've always had an issue with this plane being on its descent, hitting its waypoint. So trying to anticipate that by starting early. Hopefully we would stay more on path, but these winds definitely did not help us out. You can see right now we've got a tailwind right now of 40 knots. So we're just going to keep our eye on that. We're actually going to switch off VNAV and we'll just go manual descent, and we'll just kind of keep our eye on that. So as we make our way here, we're just kind of vectoring out over the ocean here a little bit, and then in just a moment we'll make our way back in. So by the time we get to our next waypoint, we want to be at about just above 3,000 feet. So to kind of combat this as well, we're just going to keep dialing back our speed here a little bit. You can see we're currently at 260. I want to be about 219 right now as we are making our final vectors from the airport. So we're about 27 miles out from the runway right now. And you can see here we're wanting to be at 170 by the time we get to our second to last waypoint. So I'm just trying to see if I put VNAV back on, if the plane will kind of react to that, but it doesn't look like it's doing that. So I think what we're going to probably end up doing here is we're just going to keep manual speed coming down, our vertical speed. We'll just keep that manual. And that'll go to my wind wing panel here. We'll just plug it in altitude of 5,000 feet. And we'll do our heading here, and we'll just kind of vector ourselves in. So again, this is what, the 7th flight of the series here. I'd say about 5 of the 7 flights on descent I've had to actually take over the manual VNAV descent here, where I've actually had to turn VNAV off and really kind of take control, which I don't think should be happening. This plane should be doing a lot of that by itself with VNAV entered in and being enabled. And it's one thing that I think FlightFactor has really been trying to work on is get the VNAV figured out for this plane. So one thing, if you're kind of thinking about getting this plane, it's definitely the best plane you can buy for a third-party add-on for this sim, but just note that the VNAV is still kind of bugged a little bit. And it's definitely better than what it was even 6 months ago, but you're really going to have to stay close to it. And I will say that for whatever reason in this sim, X-Plane 12, flying into JFK, even LaGuardia, and not just with this plane, but I have had a lot of trouble with planes kind of staying on profile under 10,000 feet. So I haven't had that really at any other airport with any other planes. I've just kind of noticed it with these 2 airports here in the New York City area, and especially with this FlightFactor plane. So chalk it up as human error, chalk it up as my mistake. It might all be, but it's been a little too coincidental that it's been almost every flight here. And so I think I've come to the conclusion that it's still just needing to be worked out a little bit. Alright, so we're going to keep our speed brakes extended here. We want to keep bleeding off the speed. You can see they're out there. But you know what? we're going to close them up right now. Since we've reached our descent speed here of 219. And I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on our descent here with our speed. Things are looking good right now since I've taken over manually. Just trying to see here what I want to get this dialed in. Obviously, as we keep slowing down the plane, we're going to have to change our vertical descent here. And we're going to go 3,100 feet.
Kennedy Tower on 119.1.
Keep that plugged in for just a little bit. All right, things are looking good right now as we are making our way. Let's bump our speed down here to 190. We'll keep it at that, and we'll go flaps position 1, help bleed off some of this speed. And start to see the coastline out in front of us. All right, so we're gonna go straight to a guide, I guess you could say. Not sure, but we're gonna dial back our speed here again, as we do not want it to be up at 240. So, okay, airplane, we're gonna slow her back down here. Just jumped up to 220. We're gonna get that slowing back down,
Turn left heading 360.
and we're gonna get our altitude now plugged in.
No,
And I think I'm just gonna set that to. I think I'll just set it to 100, and then we'll just manually hand fly it down once we get closer here to the runway. Once we get established runway visual and we're in line with the runway, I'll just go ahead and hand fly it in, of course, so we don't really need to worry too much about that altitude. But the runway sits 62 feet above sea level, so if we just have it at 100, we should be just fine on our calculation here. All right, let's go flaps position 5.
523 heavy, proceed direct
We'll start to see that plane, the plane's nose start to dip down.
on the localizer cleared for the ILS runway 31 right approach.
In just a moment here, we should have visual of the runway. We'll get our landing lights on.
Maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 31 right approach. American 4523 heavy.
And we'll get our speed here to 170 as our approach speed. Our final approach speed is going to be 142. Alright, very good. Alright, we're looking good. Got the coastline of New York right out in front of us. And right now I'm keeping VNAV enabled. I want to see if this plane starts to descend even a little bit by itself. It may do so. I may take it back over just to ensure that we are going to be losing this descent altitude. I don't want to be coming in too high. I want to make sure we make this runway. So I'm just going to kind of give it a moment here, and then I may just switch back over to manual vertical speed. You can see there our final landing speed is going to be 142.
ILS approach runway 22 left to the north. Runway 52 left, JetBlue 184. Expect ILS approach runway 22 left, JetBlue 184.
Alright, we're currently 25 miles out from the runway. And yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and just start entering in a vertical speed here and just start to slowly descend. Let's just see how we're looking here. Okay, we don't need to go too much. Even 600 feet should be good. Let's just kind of see. Maybe we could even do 400. Just trying to dial it in here. Okay, so maybe the VNAV was actually doing fine on its own, because with me only being at 200 to 300 feet, it seems to be doing pretty well here. So, okay, well, we're already in vertical speed. We'll just keep it in that for now. There's no problem there. We're coming up on taking over control of the plane anyway, so we'll just kind of let it do its own thing here as we make our way into JFK.
Heavy morning. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 31 right.
American 4523 heavy, Kennedy Tower, roger. Continue approach, runway 31 right.
Oh, this is Airphone 3634, requesting clearance through Paris, Charles de Gaulle.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
Alright, we have runway visual out in front of us. And with that, we are going to be making our final waypoint pass here in just a moment, and then we'll be in line with the runway. Let's go ahead and get flaps set to 15, and let's get our final landing speed dialed into 142.
Contact departure. JetBlue 719.
Alright, we'll go ahead and drop our landing gear now that we've passed into 2,500 feet.
Runway 31 right, cleared to land.
And we'll start to see that airspeed really bleed off now with that landing gear down.
American 4523 heavy.
And we've been cleared to land.
Delta 1234. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Tower Delta 1234, be aware there's fauna on runway 22 left.
Fauna on 22 left. That,
Contact departure on 125.7.
until they're flying in Microsoft. So one thing I'm glad that X-Plane does not implement is the fauna. I don't want deer crossing the runway, animals crossing the runway while I'm trying to come in and land my plane. Imagine doing a long haul flight and you're coming in after a 15-hour flight and you take out a deer while you're landing your plane. No thank you. Alright, flaps are set to 15. We are on final descent here. In just a moment we will take over the autopilot and take over the plane for landing. One last wing view here before landing. Very nice. I was kind of hoping for a sunnier arrival here. We lost all of our sun. It was sunny the whole way down, or up here, but not so much. Alright, my airplane. Disconnect autopilot. Let's get it, friends. My throttles. We'll go flaps position 20. We have an 18-mile-per-hour headwind right now. Keep an eye on that. As long as it stays a headwind, we should be just fine.
1,000.
Jet. I'll go flaps 25. And we'll go flaps full to flaps 30. Keep an eye on our pappies as we're a little bit low. We'll get this nose up a little bit.
500.
Cross check.
$400.
391. Contact departure. Car departure.
300. Approaching minimums.
Continue.
200. Minimums.
Landing.
$100. 50. 40. 30.
Alright, there's 30. Cut the
20.
power. Into the flare.
10.
Just hold it. Just hold it. And we're down. Alright, reversers out. Keep your center line. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome down to New York City. We'll go ahead and vacate here off to the left.
4523 Heavy, welcome to Kennedy. Contact ground on
Go ahead and use our manual braking here. Come to a full stop off the runway.
121.9er. American
Very, very nice. Minus 241 on the landing rate today. Oop, we didn't have our runway turn off on. Okay. Never mind. We're good. Nothing to see here.
Kennedy ground. American 4523.
Alright, we're going to clean up our flaps. Flaps clean. Speed brakes can come in. Very nice. And we are ready to taxi to the gate.
Heavy, Kennedy ground, taxi to Terminal 8, Gate 31, via Whiskey Bravo, Tango Alpha. Welcome to JFK, where the airplane was smart enough to get here, but getting to the ramp is proving to be the hard part.
Terminal 8, Gate 31, via Whiskey
You know, sometimes I'm surprised at what they have ATC say here through say intentions. It's sometimes I have to say, like, I think they're trying to be a little relaxed with it all and everything, but I think sometimes the things that they have them say can make it so it's not so realistic. So I don't know if that's something that happens a lot to anyone else who uses it, but I've kind of noticed sometimes ATC will say stuff that is kind of quirky and it's not anything that they would say in the real world. But yeah, it kind of makes me laugh though, because it kind of catches me off guard every time I hear it. So they never respond to me that way. I've heard them respond to other pilots, so I don't know if that's, I don't know what's going on there, but they've always been professional with me, so I guess that's why it doesn't really bother me too much. But it is kind of surprising sometimes how they respond and say stuff like that. So alright, so we are going to go taxi to the gates. We're just going to find ourselves an open gate here that fits our airplane. I'm just going to take a look at our map here. Let's go up top. Let's get the APU bleed on. Very good. APU's on and running. And now we can get ourselves over to the gate.
Kennedy ground, Kessler Heavy, requesting taxi clearance. 1 second while I grab the paperwork. Taxi runway 22 right via Alpha Bravo and Charlie, Kessler Heavy.
Alright, this gate is looking good right here. We'll take gate number 4. Very nice, very nice.
Kennedy ground, we are currently really short runway 31 right for U.S. Customs.
One thing that would be really cool if they implemented on this 777 is a marshal there. That would be a really nice touch. That's one thing that I really wish they would do, just to kind of help you get into your gate. Alright, very good. Park brake is on. And we are... Oh, why are we moving? Did I not just engage the park brake? Hold on, let's go back down here. Okay, park brake is off. I'm not sure how that turned off when I just turned it on. Did you guys just see me turn that on? Interesting. Alright, let's not worry about that. We're going to go ahead and turn off engine number 2, followed by engine number 1. We almost ended up in the building, you guys. After all of that, we almost ended up in the terminal.
Yes, sir.
Doors to manual mode.
Alright, doors over to manual.
Aye,
We can
sir.
go over here. Actually, let's go back. Let's establish the ground crew.
Give me just a minute. Kennedy ground, requesting start clearing.
Some of our lights off here. Don't need on at the gate.
This is the
1421
Ground is ready.
IFR to Bermuda. I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Alright, perfect. Back over here to the EFB. We'll go over to ground services. We will ask for
some equipment.
the gates. We'll
Make
ask
your
for
choice.
chocks.
Passenger gates.
Very
And
well,
we'll
sir.
get, let's see here. We'll probably go back. Let's just go to loading services, and then we'll just go unload on all of these, and then all of the needed vehicles and personnel will come along with that. All right, very good.
We would like you to unload the catering. Please start offloading the luggage.
Roger.
The way they talk, it's so robotic. Let's see, we gotta get the jetway attached, so let's do that. All right, very good. Jetway is making its way towards the airplane. All right, very, very good.
Kennedy Ground, Speedbird 1968.
See, I think we're still waiting on
ready for push
shocks here as well. Make sure we don't start rolling again. Don't trust my parking brakes after that little debacle.
Push and start approved, tail northwest, Speedbird 1968.
All right, boy, they are slow to get on it here at JFK. What is going on here? Okay. All right, doors are open for deboarding. Very good. And, okay, I can see a whole list of things happening there. All right. Well, with that, friends, that is going to conclude episode 7 and the first half of Around the Globe 2026. I just want to thank all of you for coming along this amazing journey. We've done half of our goal of making our way around the globe twice, once around the southern hemisphere, which you've already completed. This was the first leg of the northern hemisphere. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back here in 2 weeks for episode 8 of Around the Globe 2026, where we take this exact same plane, the FlightFactor Boeing 777 V2 from JFK over to London Heathrow. And on this second wave of flights that we have here, we're going to be going from JFK to London, London to Dubai, and beyond. So lots of cool flights coming up here on the channel. They will be released weekly once we are back here for the second half of Around the Globe 2026. Please reach out if you have any questions about any add-ons, the plane, anything that I'm using here in the sim, say intentions. Feel free to reach out with any questions. Also, feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Everything, liking and subscribing all help grow the channel. So with that, friends, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next time.
Thank you.